All right. Hello, I'm Dustin Anderson. I'm here with Drew Mason. He was my mentor while I was at West Virginia Wesleyan College for grad school, and he's the one I'm going to be using for the interview today. We'll go ahead and get into it. For how long have you been a preceptor or a clinical instructor?
I believe I've been a clinical coordinator now going my seventh year at West Virginia Wesleyan College. I've been a preceptor for 13 years. So West Virginia Wesleyan is a preceptor. Started Webb University for a couple years as a preceptor, and a long time ago, Slippery Rock University.
Okay. What's your current position?
My current position is assistant professor. Athletic training and exercise science. I have the clinical coordinator title as well as associate head athletic trainer downstairs. I still do clinical, so my sport responsibility is cross country and track.
Mm-hmm. All right. How many students do you supervise currently?
Um, 3 seniors, 13 juniors, 11 sophomores, 26 freshmen. So the numbers 24, 27, 53.
53. How many freshmen do you usually lose along the way?
It's really been dependent on our athletic department, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
With a push for D2 model, small D2s to add more athletics or add more athletes to campus, it seems to run a little bit of interference on how many kids stay.
Mm-hmm.
Past 2 years, it broke the trend a little bit. We had some rough years, like I said, 3 seniors this year,
Mm-hmm.
but 13 juniors.
That's good.
I think the biggest thing is we've acclimatized, we've adapted, changed our climate a little bit. We try to do all of our clinicals out of season.
Okay.
The only time it presents issue is like winter sport. Men's basketball, women's basketball. We don't have wrestling, unfortunately. Um, Swimming can present an issue. Even in intro class, like there's their observation hours. I've tried the football kid won't do their observation hours till the very end of the semester.
Mm-hmm.
Same with the soccer or something like that. So our attrition rate's not as bad as it was, but we're still, we lose 50%, 70%,
Mm.
somewhere in there. So
Dang.
26 freshmen, that's kind of low for the past couple of years. If I have 12 at the beginning of next year, I'll be really excited.
Nice. Nice. All right. Would you describe your current position as your dream job, good fit, stop along the way, or something else?
Um, Dream job is I don't I don't know how you go after that, but it's a good fit. It's a really good fit for me professionally. It's a good fit for me personally now. The life work balance is really good. Um, if I need to be out at 3:30, I can. If I need to stay till 6:30, I can. It allows me more fluctuation. I'm in the classroom more than I've ever been, um, which married 3 kids, all under the age of 8 or all under the age of 9. Um, you have to have some type of balance, and it works really good for us. As far as the small school liberal arts atmosphere, that seems to work as well. Um, just with the type of student athlete I deal with every day, it's a good fit for my personality.
Nice. How would you assess your level of excitement with your current job?
A level of excitement from an academic standpoint, I think is always exciting. Um, the classroom is a stage, so to
Mm-hmm.
speak. I really enjoy engaging students on a small ratio basis that I'm able to do now. My classes are very rarely ever bigger than 15-to-1 ratio. Um, but I really enjoy the classroom aspect of things. Um, I still enjoy the clinical aspect. Um, what I enjoy about the clinical aspect is being able to correlate what is going on in the classroom versus clinical application. Um, Now, I've been doing this for 15, 16 years now. The rigmarole and baseball practices till 10 o'clock at night, or soccer practices till 9 o'clock at night, or those things are kind of a thing of the past for me. So I don't miss that
Mm-hmm.
at all.
There you go. Um, so you may not be able to give me approximate hours just because of fluctuation, but like approximately how many hours do you work a week? Um,
um, we're required via our contracts 37 hours a week,
mhm.
37 and a half hours a week. no one downstairs, none of my staff members, none of our faculty are putting in, 45 to 50.
Mm-hmm.
We've done a really, really good job with that, counterbalancing, graduate students, GA model. So to me, it's very, very important for life-work balance for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
That's from, a fellow staffer who's married with kids to someone who's single. It doesn't really correlate for me why somebody should work 60 hours, somebody else is only working 45.
Mm-hmm.
We've done a really good job of being efficient with that. We're not running our graduate students in the ground, as you know.
Yeah.
Try to keep that 20 to 30 hours a week type thing for them. Sometimes we go over, but never more than 40. That doesn't even happen that often. But it's all about the balance, in my opinion. And that 35 to 45 ratio seems to be pretty much the norm for us now.
That's good. That's good. Now, how many hours of that do you spend in the clinical education part of it?
For me anymore, in the fall, I have a pretty light clinical load. I only supervise. I have one independent study for one student. And then basically, for me, clinic-wise, 2 to 3 hours a day in clinic. There's no practice covered responsibility for me. I don't per se have, I'm not a preceptor per se to any certain student, but I'm in the clinic pretty much all day, whether in my office or actually out, seeing people, seeing patients. So my load for preceptorship is pretty light in the fall, and in spring it's heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Our track team got 120 athletes, so basically we're running 4, 5, 6 hours a day in clinic.
Mm.
So it's pretty intense sometimes, but the students are there, and from what I've gained from students I've had the past 3 years, they get 100 times more stuff in athletic training facility in clinic as they do going out and go pole vault and run sprints and practice.
That's good. What are the positives about your current job?
Small ratio. The student aspect of things. The student athlete thing is a whole different story. But from the student aspect of things, small ratio, quality relationships between student and mentor, student and educator. I think our students get a very, very thorough education from start to finish. They get a ton of clinical application. They get a lot of hands-on experience. And the ability to do that is that we're right there.
Mm-hmm.
Direct audio and visual contact is indicating guidelines, which we always adhere to, we always follow. But it's so much nicer to be only working with 1 or 2 students versus that 8-to-1 ratio.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
2 to 1 or 3 to 1 is so much more effective in the educational environment. I don't care if it's athletic training, education, or what, but being able to have that cohesiveness and that ratio being where it's at, I think is only awesome.
Nice. What are the positives of being a preceptor?
Getting to see it from the classroom to clinical application, seeing the light bulb go off. First time they see all Lockmans, or the first time that they, evaluate an ankle start to finish and it is correct and it's successful. I don't think there's very many educational opportunities out there where you get that experience, at least from an undergraduate standpoint.
Yep.
It's going from classroom discussion, lecture, to lab and practicing versus actually doing it on your own in the field. I think that's what makes it a pretty neat thing.
Cool. In what ways do you provide mentoring for your athletic training students?
We have open door policy downstairs. Basically means if you're in your office, door's open. Basically what they know is if the door's shut, either I'm not there or somebody's in there, there's always a way of communicating to us. Whether it be the grease board, dry erase boards on our doors, to our emails, our cell phones, or whatever. The biggest thing that I think is the institution I'm at allows us to provide a really good foundation. And that foundation being, not necessarily being a great athletic trainer, being a great professional, but more so, first off, being a great person. Laying the foundation for those morals and those ethical standards not just necessarily in the athletic field, athletic training, but as a general person in this type of environment. It's a very liberal environment. Doesn't necessarily go through that I agree with 100% of the time, all the time. It's a very accepting environment, and I think that's where it all starts. I really do. It develops. You can almost. I'm not saying develop moral character, but it shows in the right path, so to speak. Not necessarily as an athletic trainer, but where they need to go as a person, which is then followed up by being an athletic trainer versus being, a healthcare provider later on.
Cool. Do you feel that you're a good mentor for your athletic training students? Why or why not?
I hope so.
Yeah, I'd have to agree that you are.
I'm very real.
Yes, you are.
Very, very direct. I'm very blunt. In this day and age and society we live in, I think that is a lost art form. Not being rude, not being arrogant, nothing of that nature. But the less you can dance around and the more efficient you can be at what it is you do, and still maintain a good bedside manner, and be professional at the same time, I think holds true. When I start looking back and I look at my graduate students in particular, where they've gone, what they've done in life, I think it's been a really good experience. For undergrad, you get a little different flavor from the preceptor to that preceptor. Everybody knows that Drew's no nonsense. Whether that be my athlete, my students, my graduate assistants, my staffers, I still laugh. I still have a good time. Bring a sense of humor to the table, but at the end of the day, what is right, what is wrong, what is black, what is white, eliminate the gray. And hopefully that bodes well for them, not necessarily the healthcare provider, which it should, but, conflict resolution is always another thing I think that I do a pretty good job with. But at the end of the day, I think I bring it all to the table. I really do. I don't think that very many kids work with me in clinic that end up having a bad experience.
That's good. What excites you about the athletic training profession?
What excites me about it is the uniqueness of it. I was thinking about this today after church, and I'm going to talk to you today. I like the uniqueness of it. I like what it is that we do. My biggest fear is how far we're getting away from it. I love being the preventer. I love being the emergency care provider. I love doing the initial eval. I like seeing an athlete come back. That's what I like. That's the education that was based on a long time ago. Where are we at now? I'm not sure where we're at now. Physician extender, EMT. Some of us think we're EMT/paramedics. Some of us think we're physical therapists. The thing I do like about it, and it still holds true where we're at from, the general basis of athletic training is we still stick to our origins. That's what I like about where I'm at. I don't have time for long-term rehab, I'll be honest. I don't have an hour and a half to do ACLs 4 to 5 days a week. We refer. Post-surgically, sometimes refer, sometimes do it in-house, it just depends. But I like the core roots, I like the true basis of what athletic training was. And I think we're still practicing that where I'm at.
Good. What ways do you model excitement about the athletic training profession for your students?
The classroom's a stage. That's the second time I've said it. All right.
So that's important.
Students are paid for an educational experience. How that educational experience is delivered is the root of how it's perceived. If I just come in and I'm really blah, or I'm very dry or monotone in intro, my retention numbers don't show that. I want them to be excited. I tell them, like freshman last week, if an ankle dislocation comes in and you're standing up against the wall, that's your fault. If a headlock comes in, get up there and look at it. Right? Not that that's a good thing, but I want them to be excited about it. I want them to be curious about it. I want them to ask questions. I want them to be observant. I want them to be as hands-on as they possibly can be within the confinements of their own education, where they're at in the program. But it starts with attitude. I mean, that's my attitude to the classroom, my attitude sitting at my desk, in my clinic. that's where it all starts. If I'm not excited, they're not excited. So
Exactly.
that's just the way it has to be.
That's all the questions that I have for this, but I was thinking of another one that I could ask that's sort of unique to where you're at, and especially with the doctorate in athletic training program being the one when ISU started as the first clinical doctorate. And I think one of the most unique problems that you face is West Virginia is still a registration state.
Oh yeah.
And maybe if you could talk a little bit. I know we've had some conversations. You've been working really hard to make it a licensure state. Maybe just a couple of points about that, just so my other classmates can sort of get a grasp of how that can be constraining and sort of that role ambiguity across the state of what we do.
My wife says I'm the leading preacher for athletic training in the state of West Virginia. How long you got?
We got about 10 more minutes.
It is a really grassroots intervention. We only have 43 out of 123 high schools in the state of West Virginia that are actually covered by athletic training service. Few and far between. It's a very rural area. The demographic is still true Appalachian in most places. Not very urbanized areas. Those are urbanized, metropolized, so to speak. Large areas all have athletic trainers. Larger schools have athletic trainers, and larger ones do not. Our biggest adherents, I won't say combatants or adversaries, but West Virginia Department of Education is one. They don't really, quote unquote, see the need for athletic training. They still allow waiver permits. West Virginia Secondary Schools Activities Commission is a branch of West Virginia Department of Education. That's another thing. Waiver. So basically allowed anybody with a medical background, so to speak, be waivered to cover certain things. Those two entities only cover medical coverage for high school football in the state of West Virginia. That doesn't include freshman football. That doesn't include JV football. That doesn't include middle school football. Our kind of thought process in this is being that's our largest opportunity for employment in the state. So we go after those entities pretty well. The other being the West Virginia Physical Therapy Association, and it goes all the way back to APTA, NATA stuff, with position statement and all that other stuff. It's been a real battle. We got, we don't have the numbers, we don't have the resources from a financial standpoint to battle. We battle, don't get me wrong. I've probably been in half a dozen meetings in the past year at West Virginia Board of Physical Therapy, with the WVA PTA president on numerous occasions. It always comes down to the same thing: scope of practice. Definition of scope and practice. I'm going to be as real as I possibly can be here, and this might be politically incorrect, but with that being said, the excuse will always be that we're worried about the safety of the public. That's what they'll always say. BS. What we're worried about is how much money are these athletic trainers going to take out of my pocket? Third-party reimbursement is the thing they're worried about more than anything. It's not necessarily a licensed athletic trainer, but they know once there's licensed athletic trainers, and they start the process of third-party reimbursement. So that's where it comes down to. It comes down to dollars and cents. It's not necessarily the well-being of the clientele or well-being of the population as much as how we can be combative here to keep these people out of the picture as long as possible. It's no different than chiropractic and PT in West Virginia. It's been that for years and years and years. My thing is I try to show them how much I can make them if I'm working in their clinic, if I'm a licensed healthcare provider, if I'm going third-party reimbursement. It's been a real struggle. I've been to state address, I've been to the governor's office, I've been to the Senate, I've been to the House, lots of phone calls, lots of other things. It's really, really, it's very, very difficult. If I could get budge one way or the other, West Virginia Department of Ed would just come out and say they want licensed athletic trainers or athletic trainers at every high school in the state of West Virginia, then that's the first step. So, licensure versus policy, two different things, but you have to get one before you get the other. I'll take either one of them. But I could sit here and talk about it all day.
Mm-hmm.
But for people who don't understand the politics of it, that's what makes the world go round. That's what it comes down to.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Well, thank you for your time, honestly, and the questions and everything. I know we had quite a battle trying to get this done.
Right.
Yeah.
Hoping you wouldn't expect anything less than honesty.
No, not with you. That's why I got you for this one. All right. Well, you have a good day, Drew.
All right. Thanks.
No problem. Bye.